All right, good morning, everybody. Let's give everybody a few more minutes to join. We'll get through the watch list. Can tell that people are about to join us. Trying to make sure we have everybody here first. Look at fade on SPX. J Money. You want to kick it off, and whomever joins will whenever they want to.
Yes, sounds like a good idea. Let's get started. First, I'll start just by saying, I think SPX today can be difficult for sure. It's Friday. We basically we're up 200 points from the lows after FOMC in a pretty straight line. We rejected 74.90 in the pre-market this morning on SPX, and now are just beginning to start the first dip after that rally. So today can be fairly difficult in SPX. I think today's the day where anyone that's kind of been locked out on the way up is you know, experiencing some FOMO and is trying to get in on the first dip. We can either be, very choppy and consolidate after that rally, or we could retrace 50% of it and pull back and people trying to buy the first dip get slaughtered. So just be aware of that. Certainly be patient, selective, manage your size on the individual market, and just be aware of that. Trading individual names, there can still be some good plays out there, but just be aware that the market as a whole may be fairly choppy. The good news is the gamma positioning gives us a pretty defined range. It's just possible to see some chop inside of that range. We are going to be a negative gamma again today, which just means there can be kind of larger, faster candles in both directions. The range itself fairly clear. 74.90 and 7500 are pretty big resistance. We rejected 74.90 already in the pre-market. I think 7500 is a short if we were to get back up there. And I think that's the top side of the range likely today. We've got 7450 as a pivot in the middle, and then 7425 and 7400 are pretty strong supports below. So that's a very big range with a 7450 pivot right in the middle, and could easily see fairly choppy kind of retracement and consolidation inside of that range. So that's SPX. We're trading right at 7460 at the moment. Personally, I'm basically going to avoid anything in the middle. I'll look at 7500 for a short. I like 7425, for longs, and basically going to sit on hands in the middle. So that's SPX today.
I think you're muted, Monkey. Or I can't hear him. Can you guys hear him?
Yeah, I can hear me.
Yep.
No, we can't hear you, Mate.
For some reason, this week has been really shitty with Discord. I have to keep
Yeah.
going into the input and select the same input that is selected. So it's not changing it. It's just it needs some love. Uh, I just wanted to say that I just wanted to add some color to that and simply point out that the 20-day and the 50-day are sitting right below that 500. So we peaked above and failed. So it's a failed attempt of recovering those. And any close above, I would be a little bit more bullish about things. But as far as where we are right now, it's exactly what James said. It's a bit trickier. Uh, Matei, are you back at the desk?
I'm here and I'm ready to go.
Do you want me to? I'm gonna unshare so you can share.
Sure. I
Go
will
ahead.
do that. Let's see. All right, cool. Let's do this thing. I actually like a good bit this morning, so I'll just chime in as we go through the list. Initially, focus was Amazon. I think the way the setting up is in between give and go and opening drive structure, a little bit more of an opening drive, or I'm sorry, give and go structure. Um, so basically, earnings came out. We've seen the stock bottom and attempt to bottom for a bit, kind of similar to Microsoft, maybe a little stronger, big picture. A double bottom off 225 and then gapping up. We're starting to see this as a little bit of a theme. So it's a good look overall for the market to see some of the Mag 7 names beat and look pretty good and get back much higher in the range. So, that's just big picture context. There was a previous high here on 264.50. There's a level above that around 267. That's also important. And then a gap fill up to 269. As far as the pre-market structure goes, you're already getting a little reaction off that 258.60. I personally would like to give this a minute at the open. It's not the same as Microsoft yesterday, caught some momentum right before the open and then caught a really nice back test. So if you saw something like that, then maybe we'll pivot. But as it currently sits, I would rather give it a minute, see if we get a give and go. Amazon's pretty notorious for that as well. It likes to dip off earnings after the open. So I just want to see how this 258 reacts. Only way I would consider opening drive is if we saw 258.60 test and then very quickly get through uh, with momentum above like to that 264.50 spot. So I'm not as excited at the open on this one as I was with Microsoft yesterday. And if we miss an opening drive, yesterday was a perfect example on Microsoft on how if you miss the opening play, you can catch a secondary up. So there's no need to add pressure unless there's high conviction on the open to trade the open. There's usually more opportunities. So I just want to kind of call that out. So focus on Amazon, but I also will be focused on pretty much everything in the watch list. I would like to see how memory reacts today. I think SNDK could be a really good give and go. NBIS as well, something I'm watching. And then speaking of Microsoft, we're just basing here. If you look, the reason I'm not too hot on the continuation trade just yet is the RSI is a little extended here. Usually on day two, if you're going to get a really good day two off the open, you'll see the RSI really reset. That's not the case. So I'm a little bit more hesitant there around the open as well. So lots moving in the market. I think the key today is going to be waiting a little bit off the open. It's 0 DTE, it's end of the month, so this can create some really good ops. It doesn't mean it has to be right at the open. So, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at as far as going into things. Yeah, so we can kind of keep going through, but
How about you keep going, Matei? I'm not
you
really
just want me to
excited
go
that
through it?
much,
Yeah,
so
I kind
yeah,
of was
because
going
I'm
to
not
ask
really
that.
like
Yeah,
feeling anything. So yeah, so
yeah,
I
I
think you can
felt
speak
that.
a little bit better towards it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Glad we're aligned. Meta day two continuation setup. So typically when you close on the highs after a big gap down, it's super high odds of continuation the next day, at least to some degree initially. We're already getting that with a gap up, so this is a little bit trickier. But if you hold 540, dips hold above that previous day high, you can look for longs above that. AMD, I like the way that AMD is holding above 500, also that priority high. So these memory and chip names, most of them anyway, had a really big move yesterday. If you go to the daily, there's a really big kick save. And I think the context that there is a narrative building here with the Leopold situation going on. So anytime you have an event like that in the market, it can create some really good trades. And you saw that stick save yesterday. Today is continuation with the gap. So I agree with Monkey in the sense that the gap is a little bit, tricky, makes it open less appealing almost across the board. But since it's end of month and these names are moving and there's a little bit of a theme building, that can lead to some really good ops, but it might just not be around the open. It might be later in the session. For
Yes.
AMD
If I
specific,
can
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, if I can just jump in, like I think my sentiment today is like I'll look for relative strength intraday and then intraday setups. So not really too excited about much at the open, just like you said.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hmm.
So yeah, AMD. I think there could be something here. 500 holds and pushes at the open. Scalpable above 500. Uh, well, at earnings. So context, big picture with Apple. This is one of the strongest names in the market. Is seeing really good momentum to the upside, and now just giving it all back and pretty key support here. I don't know why it's not drawn there, but 307 really key, and then in the pre-market 305, which we'll look at here in a sec. This is set up for a decent opening drive actually. So uh, it's grinding lower, which for the best opening drives, you want to see a little bit more breadth in the candles, but it's kind of setting up for that big flush. So the way I would trade this is really simple. If the opening drive is going to work, I would look to take immediately through this pre-market pivot 306 and risk like 308, 309. And if it spikes up out of this structure, just get out of the way. But if it flushes, it's probably going to be really fast flush down at the open with the structure. RVOL is really good. RSI has plenty of room for lower. So this is one of those quick dips at the open that I think is pretty darn likely. And you just don't want to get caught in any kind of trap with it if it holds so tight stops. We talked about Microsoft enough. MBIS, similar, very similar to AMD as far as the structure, and all these look pretty similar. This 200 spot is key. This really 197 to 205 is a very key area on the daily, and we're just testing that right now. So, um, nice little bounce. I would say out of AMD and MBIS, RSI looks really good on MBIS. So for opening play above 197, 200, as long as we're above that, this is has a lot of room for a push to the upside. So probably my favorite at the open. If I had to trade something at the open, I would trade NBIS. And then SNDK, uh, you could trade through pre-market highs, but usually when it's this defined, it's trappy. So I would actually rather see a give and go. So if a give and go sets up, first move down, you sweep or maybe back test the prior day structure, and then go higher, that could be a nice play. Really good volume across almost all of these names on the list. But at the open, maybe Amazon, MBIS look the best. Everything else is a little bit more wait and see. And that's all I've got. So we can go into what Srain's looking at if you're ready.
Yeah, hi, good morning, everybody. I think you covered very well, Mate, Amazon and NBIS and other stock, so I will not repeat the same. So I think Apple, I really like it for the opening drive, but it has a history, just before 5 minutes before it will dump very hard. So I don't know it will hold it or not till open. But yeah, I think that 307 area is the key. If we break, we can easily target 302 to 303 area on that one. Uh, I think one thing I would like to add is Reddit. Reddit, I think it had a nice bad earning yesterday, but the stock is down almost 16%, whereas implied move was close to 10%, I would say. So what I'm watching is 155, 157 area. If we see a bounce around that area, I would look for a rejection on the Reddit, targeting then 150 or lower on the Reddit. So that's a top up for me. Reddit is the top up, and yeah, Amazon actually I was looking this 259 area, 258, 257 area trap and move higher. So we are already making that move. So I will watch intraday pattern on Amazon and Microsoft. And apart from that, since month end, so we would like to see where the money is flowing. So we'll see how the this setup, either memory name, NBIS or Marvel. So all of these stocks, I will wait and watch for me intraday setup. So that's it
Nice,
from my.
nice, nice, nice. Yeah, Amazon already PM highs here, so looking it's looking strong. Let's see if we could see any continuation. All right, I don't have anything more to add to that. Thank you guys for sharing. Let's take a look at some of the names that you guys are calling out here before the open, and then we'll settle in just a couple minutes before the open. Let's take a look here. MU. Think Mete just kind of, I guess, mentioned MU, but in terms of the technicals, yeah, MU had a really good day yesterday. Obviously, it's part of the memory name, memory play rather. It's tricky, but if it could hold 900 on the back, this could be a nice little tactical scalp near the open, little profit. And if they step in at 900, I would imagine that it could turn back up higher, targeting 920 and then 960. If it breaks below 900, I would, uh, you know, I would be cautious, like selling this for now, but it would probably test yesterday's highs, and anything below yesterday's highs could be an ugly kind of unravel. Uh, and so, yeah, this gap up is a little bit kind of what I'm struggling with here. MU had a really good day yesterday. I wish we had opened right below yesterday's highs, right above for a quick kind of dip and rip. You have to be a little more patient with this one. But MU definitely looks good in terms of what it's doing here over the last couple of days. And SNDK is very, very similar. The funny part about SNDK is like it's up 32% or so in 2 days. So yesterday plus today's kind of gap up, and it's right at the 9 day moving average. So it's fairly extended below the 9 day on the daily, and we're right below that 9 day here. So I would watch this pivot around this like 1360 65 area. If it's unable to kind of push above and hold, this could be an ugly. Imagine a back test of the 9 day and fail, and then continuation of the larger downtrend that this one is in. So this is just, I guess, a bear market rally for this one. So SNDK, I mean, looks good. Once again, trickier. Just kind of have to wait it out. See, look for something intraday to set up, kind of extended here, I would say. Take a look at AAOI. Yeah, so I mean, the one that's standing out to me within this group is AXTI. It's up about 43% today overnight, and then yesterday almost 30%. So that's quite significant 2 day gain. AOI is part of that group. It's back above 100, which is great. So big picture, the kick saved the 200-day moving average around 90, basically where we closed yesterday.
Can you hear anybody here? Test, test, test,
Yeah,
test.
I'm here. I'm
Okay,
Yep.
here.
good. Okay, cool.
I keep having to
Yes.
manually select this input.
For
I
Pete's
was talking about
sake,
Tesla. I was talking about Tesla. I don't know if you heard any of that.
I didn't hear anything on Tesla.
Okay. I was talking about Tesla gapping up earlier and now almost red. So the gap up has been sold into. This
Mm.
was due to headline about their China operations being closed. And in order to kind of potentially get a SpaceX merger. So once again, that's kind of in focus here. So it's just a hands-off Tesla. There's so many other better stocks to trade now. If we do get a SpaceX merger, then I'll be all over it. For now, just hands off.
Yeah.
So that's my perspective on Tesla. Unfortunately, it's just a dead stock for me right now. All right. And if you don't hear me, just call that out, please, and I'll
Yeah.
press that button again, which is super stupid. But yeah, Roblox down 22%. Do I want to chase this 22%? Not really. If you see a backtest of 40, that could be something to watch. Obviously, significant gap down. I'm not really familiar with the reason why, but just an ugly move lower. On the daily, I guess, just to have some reference points, the 40 is very important. 40 to 41. If you're unable to recapture that, I think that's a short any day. It's a huge kind of swing low from May, June this year. Okay. Let's last one here, Nvidia. Yeah, I mean, Nvidia is tricky, right? But it's noticeable that it keeps holding the 200-day moving average around that 193. So we do have a triple kind of attempt to break that 200, and we fail, and we're just holding here. So this could develop into something to the upside, but for now, it is one of the first stocks to push lower when the market is pushing lower. So I know we love Nvidia, we love to trade Nvidia, or the idea of trading Nvidia, but it's a little bit like Tesla for me. Unless we start seeing some momentum, and we'll trade that. But right now, there's just not a whole lot. I think it's more of a downside play than upside. All right, that's all we got here, guys. Let's just get settled in here before the open, please. All right. Yeah, Amazon is interesting. I mean, this one, there's so much momentum in Amazon. It could just pop through PM, and you might catch a few points, but then you want to see it hold. A bit trickier. Apple pushing lower here, below PM lows here. AMD is very, very strong. 510, 511. Mate, AMD is the 50 day.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nice magnet. Also, Amazon
Yeah.
is trying to do what Microsoft did yesterday, so
Mhm.
see if it plays out. I'm likely not going to take it, but that could change if I see something I like. So
Dip and rip, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Which is not what you call it,
we can call it that.
but
Call it whatever you want. Grapple. I just typed
why is
grapple instead of apple.
why is Apple down? Maybe it's less focused, but at some point I would like to talk about it.
Yeah.
Is it okay? Guidance, Steve. Yeah, China sales too, kind of. Nvidia PM high. It heard me talk badly about it once again. It's gonna rip
I
20 points.
kind of like NVIDIA. Weirdly enough, I don't know.
Go ahead.
We'll see. Yeah,
Hey,
we'll see.
you're the man.
I don't love it. That's for sure.
Watching Meta 540 downside potentially.
Yeah, like Pete, that bell is loud. All right, here we go. What are we opening? 74.70.
To
Mm-hmm.
20-day, 50-day area on SPX.
Like MBIS here. Holding.
Yeah, Microsoft, really nice open drive through the PM high here.
Good call.
Plus one ATR on Microsoft is 467.
Wow. Okay.
Sometimes you get these like after a huge day like yesterday, Microsoft, you get that test of yesterday's highs, and then you'll that could be a nice short if it fails to push higher, but you can also play that magnet into it, which is around that 460.
Right. I can roll up on that. I might roll up.
Okay.
Just keep it small, you know. Wow. Okay. Wants to go ahead and just go. Fun times. Those premiums just absolutely exploded. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Never mind then.
That, that's the move I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Meta hands off short. I was gonna say Tesla back to 314, but I'm thinking about the 414. It's about 100 points away.
Decent
All right,
dip and
guys.
rip on Amazon.
Meta's interesting because it's like you might have players offside there. It is absolutely ripping into that gap above. So +1 ATR is 565 on Meta. Nice little offside play there potentially today, day two, or a great freaking short. I don't know. I wouldn't short it.
Apple opening drive here.
I see dip and rep Amazon.
Yep, nice. I'm gonna try a small opening drive on Apple. A little late to the party, but it looks really good. So let's try a small position here.
Fix into some resistance here. Nvidia 200 test.
Amazon holding up really nice.
Mhm.
Microsoft too.
74.90 area, nice little short on SPX. This breaks back below 70 here. Could see it pull back. Otherwise, 7,500. Pretty interesting short. Otherwise, 75.25 above. Could be nice. Look at it. Let's see what happens. All right. Rejection of the 50-day AMD. SPX back below the 20-day. Amazon, Microsoft, strong, strong, strong. D-Dog alerts going off. Breakout zone here, D-Dog on the daily. That's a really nice short off that 74.90 JM mentioned earlier in the PM, in the pre-market. Now lower.
Apple 300
Really?
test.
Yeah, well done, D-Wood. That's a beautiful short, sir. Caught 74.90 puts. Beautiful, beautiful. Microsoft remains above yesterday's highs here, which is really nice to see.